Well, good morning, everybody. I am no psychologist, but it seems to me that our ability as humans to want rewards is much greater than our ability to enjoy rewards. Our capacity for craving things outpaces our capacity for liking things. This is why, and I've mentioned this before without too much pushback, this is why the smell of coffee is better than the taste. And it's also why a couple of years ago, when I was on a great vacation with some really good friends, the very first night of that week-long trip, we were sitting outside around a campfire, and our conversation already went to planning our next vacation. We find it so difficult to just stop and smell the roses. In fact, we can find ourselves beginning to love a future that might be possible more than we love the present that is real. It's this that I think the two brothers in our parable this morning begin to learn. These two brothers who we come to find out have been very unpresent to what their father has always been trying to give them. That first son, when he comes up to his father and essentially says, "Dad, you are better off to me dead than you are alive." And he asks for an advance of his inheritance. What's he doing? He's trying to secure a future for himself. He's trying to begin living the future now. He's looking for fun and for excitement. He's looking to discover himself. He's looking for freedom. But it's something he's grasping at. I need this money now so I can go build that future now. And the father gives it to him. And the son, he goes and he tries to build this future of his own making, and it doesn't work out. And his mind starts to think about the roses back home that he never once stopped to smell before. Man, my dad's servants have more to eat than I do. And he returns home. And when he comes home, what does he find? He finds the party inside his father's house that he had been looking for outside of his father's house. He finds his father to be incredibly and almost recklessly generous to him. He slaughters the fattened calf. In the ancient world, meat was a luxury, but the almost never in a lifetime luxury that you might have the opportunity to eat was the fattened calf. I mean, for us, if I'm hungry and I go down to my kitchen, which is also called Chipotle, I just get double meat for a couple bucks. But in the ancient world, you didn't do this. What are we seeing about the Father? He is incredibly generous. He wants his son to enjoy life, to have good things, and he provides him with it. Now, all of this irritates his older brother. His older brother who has been good. His brother who has stuck around and has worked. And so he goes to his dad and he says, "Look, I've been working my tail off, and when's it going to pay off for me?" But we see that the older son is suffering from the same problem his younger brother was. He wasn't present to what was. He also was trying to secure a future for himself. He thought, if I work hard, then I can earn it. He was looking for success and affirmation and security. But he thought he had to provide it for himself. But what does he come to learn? Well, from the words of his father, everything I have is already yours. There was nothing you had to try and earn. I was always trying to give it to you. Both of these sons are found to have been incredibly unpresent to the good things their Father was always trying to give them. And instead, they go out, they start living in a future of their own making, rather than being able to receive what was already on offer. And so both of these sons are invited today into repenting. We talked about last week that word repentance, which means a change of mind. And these two men are invited to have a change of mind about who their father is and what their father is trying to provide them with. Now, it's no mystery in this story, in this parable, who the father is. It's God. And it's no mystery who the sons are. It's us. And some of us, our younger sons, who are looking for satisfaction and fun and happiness outside of a relationship with God. And some of us are the younger sons who are looking to secure the same kind of future just by keeping our head to the grindstone. But what if in the process we're missing the goodness of God that wants to be provided for us right now? How in my life are my cravings outpacing my ability to be present to what God right now is seeking to give me? Where in my life am I escaping the present for some unknown but seemingly controllable future, and this takes me out of relationship with God? Because the problem for both of these sons is not in what they were looking for. There's nothing wrong with looking for fun and excitement. There's nothing wrong with searching for success and security. Where they go wrong is where they're seeking it on their own, outside of relationship with their Father. And this is where that moment of conversion, that moment of repentance is being offered to them. That their eyes now are becoming more open to the goodness, to the reckless generosity of their Father. And this for us is the lesson about who God is. That He seeks to be the same way to each one of us. But so often we can be absent from receiving that. Where have I stepped out of the present in search for a future on my own? How am I seeking all of these good things apart from a relationship with God? Because the thing we learn about God today is that right now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now, He is using all of His power, all of His intelligence, and all of His love for our greatest good. And for our part, we have to be present enough to receive it. We have to be present enough to be open to it. And for many of us, this might be one of the hardest things to believe, because you might look at your life right now and wonder, how could it possibly be that God is right now using all of His love, all of His power, all of His intelligence for my greatest good? But then we ought to be reminded about how the Father in the parable acts. Because what does He do? He runs after His sons. He seeks them out, not when they come to Him, but wherever they're at. The younger son, in his shame and in his regret, the Father, He runs after him in that place to show him His goodness. The older son, in his anger and in his resentment, the Father goes out of the house and seeks him out to bring His love and His goodness to him. So for each one of us, wherever we are at, the great call of repentance for us, the great change of mind we are invited to make our own today, is to live very much in the present. To try and understand and see, what is it today that God is freely seeking to provide me with? We are halfway through Lent. hence the lighter shade of color today. There's light at the end of the tunnel. But this halfway point in Lent is also a reminder to us to recommit ourselves to those spiritual practices of prayer and fasting. Maybe you got off the rails at some point in these last few weeks. Well, today it's that chance to recommit to prayer and fasting, because it's prayer and it's fasting that get us to recognize God's presence in our life right now. They slow us down, that we might not escape the present moment for some unknown future. Prayer is that way in which I recognize, God, you are trying to fill me with something good right now. I'm seeking to be present to receive it. It is this great turning towards God. And fasting is this recognition that there are so many distractions in my life that prevent me from seeing what God is trying to provide for me, when so often I'm just trying to provide for myself. And this is that great turning away from those things that might be taking the place of God. But in it all, may these final few weeks of Lent be for us a reminder of the great goodness of God, that right now, this day, this hour, He wants to provide us with good gifts. May we be present enough to receive them.